Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the January 2021 energy forecast for life path number 11-2. So that's master number 11-2. 11s, I would suggest going ahead and having a listen to the reading for the 2s because that is your life path number. The 11 energy is simply an extension of that energy. Okay, so 11s. January is a 6 universal month. And so what that means, of course, is collectively we may see some resurfacing of some situations that came up back in November of 2020 because November was also a 6 month. So we may see resurfacing of family, community, health experiences that might have come up or reared its head in November, and maybe we didn't feel ready to deal with it, and so we kind of swept it under the carpet, and now it's coming back up to be dealt with. And so you may see some new things resurface this month as well, but I do get that sense that we're going to see that resurfacing. So anything that needed to be tied up in November or to be tied up, if you didn't address those things around family, community, health, then I feel like they're probably going to pop back up this month to be addressed, to be fully, to have your undivided attention and to be taken care of. And so we may also collectively see this need this month for more honesty, more fairness, and genuine concern for others. So I feel like collectively, January is going to be an opportunity for all of us collectively to get reacquainted with empathy, to be able to understand what it means to be empathetic and compassionate to others. We may see this resurgence of like this need for setting healthy boundaries this month. And so the key is try not to take on anything, try not to take on any unnecessary obligations or anything overly burdensome. So those commitments that you would in the past say yes to, that you really don't want to say yes to, this is a month to set those boundaries and say no. It's okay. So not only should you respect yourself and your worth enough to set those healthy boundaries, but also respect others' boundaries as well. So if you ask somebody else to do something and they're not capable of doing it, show that empathy and compassion and understand, and try not to be too judgmental or upset about it. Just respect those boundaries. So I feel like that could be coming in pretty strongly as well. But I think the key component with that is for you to set those boundaries with not taking on anything unnecessary, right? Really be discerning in where you invest your energy this month, and always, but especially this month. You may see things come up this month around children, family, or a change in the home or living situation. So you may find out you're pregnant, or you may have a baby, or you may have a child who needs your attention. Maybe they're starting a new school. Maybe there's a change in the living situation where you're moving locations and the emphasis is on the child because you need to get them, set up in school and all that stuff. So anything like that can kind of pop up. Any change in the home or living situation may pop up. You may get a job offer and have to change locations, and that would be a change in the situation. So, or you may buy or sell a home, etc., etc. So however it comes in for you, but those themes are definitely highlighted this month. I think collectively we're going to see a very strong need for peace and harmony. I feel like this is where we're going to see a lot of our a lot of polarization this month between the collective. And so where there's discord and chaos on the external, this is your responsibility to find your own peace and harmony on the internal. So you may have opportunities, pop up where you can feel that energy of the external that's really chaotic, and you're choosing to not get involved and finding ways to find and maintain your own peace and harmony. I think that's going to be really crucial this month. And I think that as we enter into this 5-year, it's going to be really important to hone in on that and what works for you to find and maintain your peace and harmony, and then be able to continue to dip into that resource throughout the year. Because in a 5-year, there's a lot of change and potential chaos and transformation. And, Yeah, so you're going to want to have that as a resource, that finding your own peace and harmony and how to tap into it as needed. And then you may find this, or collectively, we may see this energy around beautification. So, this desire to beautify self. So, maybe through a makeover or getting your hair done or starting a new health routine, whatever comes up for you. Or you may want to beautify your home. So, maybe you do some remodeling or buy some new furniture or paint a room or whatever the case may be. You may just simply decide to spend more time in nature. So, go out and really take in the beauty of nature. So, the question really becomes, how can you bring more beauty into your life? How can you bring more peace and harmony into your life? Because you're going to really need those resources as we move through this 5 year. And so this is a great time to start and to really figure that out for yourself. Okay, so I pulled an animal spirit card to see what the overall energy for 11s might be for January, and you guys got gorilla spirit. And what's fascinating about Gorilla's message is he says, take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. So this is interesting to me because we've talked about the sixth energy, bringing in that need for fairness, compassion, empathy, genuine concern for others. And then also that energy specifically mentions family, which the sixth energy will really be shedding light on family. And so any circumstances where there is any discord or things are not in alignment, you may see those surface. And so this is really going to be that call for you to tap into that two energy, which is your core, which is that peacekeeper energy. So, when twos are fully in alignment, you guys are the peacekeepers. You're the ones that see both sides from a standpoint of not casting judgment or needing to be right, but simply listening to both sides and taking, the information and the wisdom from both sides to find a way to integrate it from the middle, right? So finding that common ground, that's such a big essence of two's energy when you're in alignment. So I feel like for some of you, this may be very literal. This, take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. And so oftentimes we don't always see eye to eye with our family, and those are the ones that we typically, just feel really comfortable with and love and, can be ourselves around or whatever. And so when we don't see eye to eye, that can be a little bit challenging. And sometimes we can take certain liberties with, sharing our own opinions and judgments. And I think this is going to really be a call for you to kind of stand back and just listen with an open mind to what they're saying, what they have to offer, what their experiences are, whatever the case may be. You still get to decide what pieces of that you pull and utilize in your own journey. But I think the call is just to continue to have that compassion and to be that mediator and to, again, show up in fairness and honesty. So, all right, so let's go ahead and move into January. So I broke it down into 4 weeks. And the first week is really powerful, actually. You've got this it's kind of like you're starting off 2021 with a green light, green is go. So it's like you're sitting at the helm of, your ship and you just came into calm waters after a really turbulent sea. And you feel ready to explore and just expand upon this new, calmer sea, right? So it's kind of like, again, you're sitting at the helm of some pretty great opportunities and opportunities for exploration and how you want to really build this year out. And so I see a lot of contentment here, a lot of joy, a lot of peace, a lot of harmony, and feeling like you're finally in control of certain aspects of your life that maybe in the past you were too easily influenced by others or were very indecisive about. It feels like you just have this sense of clarity about yourself or just this green light to use your discernment, to use your own decisiveness. And that's a power that, twos and 11s really struggle with, is really being decisive, really just standing in their own knowing of what they want and then choosing to go after it. And so there's really this sense of you all really standing in that power. Like it could be as simple as, where in the past, if somebody was like, where do you want to eat tonight? It would cause you anxiety because you had to make a decision, right? And so it's kind of like now you just are kind of like, you know what, that's just causes me too much anxiety. I'm standing in my own power. I'm standing up for what I want. I'm going to speak my truth. And it's kind of like now someone might say, where do you want to eat tonight? And you're like, you know what, I really feel like Thai or whatever, right? And you're standing with that. And there's a level of contentment and joy that comes from that, and a sense of ease. It's like when you know what you want and you're willing to speak up for that and you're willing to go after it and put and implement the steps that you need to take to get there. There's a level of ease that's associated with that. And peace and harmony. Remember, we talked about peace and harmony. There is a level of peace and harmony that comes in to that realm of making your own decisions, okay? And having that sense of independence where you're not relying on other people to decide for you, even if it's as trivial as where do you want to eat tonight, right? So I just feel this energy around, again, you sort of feeling like you're standing at the helm of your own ship and you're not allowing the tide to tell you where to go or the wind to tell you where to go. You're deciding and you're finding a way to get there. So that's really powerful energy, 11s, and I love to see that. And that really comes back down to that core 2 energy of your life path number, because there's this along your journey. The journey is often one of indecisiveness and, being hypersensitive and just feeling overwhelmed by having to use your own discernment and making the quote unquote wrong decision and, all of those things. And I feel like there's a level of maturity that's really coming in through your past experiences where you're like, you know what, I know what I want and I'm going to speak up for that and I'm going to go after it. And those that want to join the parade can join the parade. Those that don't want to, don't have to, right? So really powerful energy this first week. Again, the energy is there. It's what you choose to do with it and how you choose to harness it. But it is definitely there for you to be decisive, use your discernment, have those honest conversations, show up in fairness, and tell others what you need and allow it to, sort of percolate and show up organically. But again, there's a level of contentment there that I really like to see, a little level of joy and just ease. So yeah, beautiful energy for that first week. Is a beautiful start to 2021. Then we move into the second week. And it's interesting. It's kind of like what's coming in is like this message of after the drama, after the trauma, after the heartbreak comes a bigger, better opportunity, right? So it's kind of like, I do see where either in the past or recent past or currently you're going through something that was very, very difficult, that was really kind of like devastating or heartbreaking. But I feel like for majority of you all, this is a recent past thing. So it's kind of like you just kind of went through maybe a major breakup or, an ending of a job or something like that. But it's interesting because the message is very, it's coupled with this energy of this great new opportunity, this new clarity that takes you in a new direction that is so much more aligned with your purpose. So it's kind of like, if you are currently in that energy of heartbreak or something not going your way and you feel really devastated about that, just understand that immediately following that energy is this energy of this great new opportunity, this great new idea, this new communication that's divinely guided coming in to take you to your next best thing. So again, it's kind of like you can't have those insights, those aha moments, those big monumental life-changing experiences without the struggle, without the turmoil and the heartbreak. And so just understand that if that's where you're at in the moment, it's not going to be this way forever. You're not going to experience this forever. It's a moment that you're meant to go through, and it's leading you towards something beyond what you could even imagine. And so, again, I do kind of see those polarities this week. And so, however it shows up for you, but just understand that you have to go through the mud to get to the other side, right? Like you have to cross the raging river to get to the other side so you can get to your destination. So there may be a little bit of challenging information coming in, challenging experiences coming in this week, but it's going to be quickly followed by a new opportunity, new communication, a new experience that will ease that heartache, that will ease that turmoil. So just be open to it and try not to be too overly focused on what didn't work out, that you miss what's trying to come in for you. I mean, you're not going to miss it. It's going to keep trying to come in for you, right? You can't screw that up. It's just a matter of, how do you want to be comfortable or uncomfortable as you wait for it to come in, right? Or do you want to catch it as it comes in the first time instead of waiting for it to continue to try to show up 10 times later because you're too focused on that heartbreak? So again, honor those feelings that come up for you, feel through it, but just know that something much grander is on its way. And I can literally see that in the energy. So it's not just like a cliche. I really see that those two polar opposites. So, okay, so then we move into this third week of January, and I can very clearly see that there is some kind of closure coming in that is allowing you to look to the future, to start to make plans for the future, to start getting excited about the future, to start feeling really creative again, and to express your creativity and that creative life force in a way that feels good for you. So again, this closure, it's kind of like you found your equilibrium, you found your balance, you've got clarity, and now you're able to kind of see through the illusions of this 3D realm and tap into that higher consciousness, that higher level of seeing, where it's like you don't have to have all the tangibles in place to be able to envision where it is that you want to go and how you want to create that. So I do feel like there's some level of closure coming in. For some of you, it could be very specific in that it's like a divorce paper is coming through, or that divorce is finalized, or you had a court case and a judgment comes through. It doesn't necessarily mean that closure is, or that judgment or whatever it is, ends up being exactly the way you wanted it to go down, right? And to happen. But there's this level of, or this feeling of relief around okay, I have closure. I can finally look to the future. I can finally move forward much freer, much more able to stop living in the past, right? Because whatever this is cleared up now. So you're able to look to the future without worrying about what's going on in the past, or what has happened in the past, or what's even going on right now. Sometimes when we're in it so thick, it's the only thing we can focus on. So I feel if you're in trauma, or if you're in some kind of situation where it's just overwhelming and all consuming, it's really hard to look to the future, to imagine what's possible when you're stuck in the mud. And so I really feel like there's this energy of closure. So again, kind of like somebody coming in and pulling you out of that mud and feeling like you can finally lay that to rest and now look to the future to, create what you want to create, to, do what you want to do or whatever, but again, there's just this level of closure. So that feels really, really good. Then we have this energy of the fourth week, which is, it's interesting. It's kind of there's a lot of kind of polarities in this energy for you all this month. I can kind of see the extremes on both sides. And so again, I feel like you guys are going to have to really focus on not falling into those extremes, but continuing to find your middle ground, because we move into this fourth week and I feel like there's this energy of you just kind kind of feeling defeated, but then all at that last moment when you're just like, I can't keep doing this, then all of a sudden some kind of respite comes in for you, or like you're walking in the desert and you're just like, I'm so thirsty, I'm gonna give up, and then all of a sudden you see, a pool of water and it's not a mirage. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like this energy of like, I feel like for some of you, it's been, for a lot of people, right? But 2020 was a very challenging year. And I feel like a lot of people are moving into January just feeling like, ugh, this has been, I can't continue on this way. I need a lifeline. And it's kind of like this fourth week of January, you're getting this really beautiful lifeline. This feels really material, sort of material based. So like money or something like that. So it could be like, sort of this energy of like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent this month. And I'm just feeling really, really overwhelmed by it. And I just don't know how it's going to work out. And then all of a sudden something comes in that's like a lifeline that's just so powerful and changes your perspective. And so I do kind of see, and it doesn't have to be that, but it, just something where it's like, you were in this one kind of extreme of like, I just can't do this anymore. I need some kind of tangible to motivate me, to keep me going. And I do see that coming in for you this week. So it's like some kind of offer, some kind of, again, tangible coming in that kind of puts the wind back in your sail, that says, you know what, you can do this, keep going, you got this, you're on the right path. You can overcome this, you can do this. Here's a beautiful offer. Now, the offer might seem kind of small at first, but there's a lot of potential with this. And it's like kind of newer energy. So you can mold it and create it however you want to create it, right? However you want to mold it. And I feel like it could be something coming in from somebody else. Like it could be a new job, it could be a new contracting opportunity. It could be an opportunity to collaborate with other people. But it could also be for you to work independently. So however it comes in, but it definitely feels like that lifeline. Like it's like, okay, I'm just at my wit's end and I don't know what to do now. And then in comes this lifeline. So it's very divinely guided. It's very divinely timed. And it's very, you can trust it. So definitely, even though again, I do get this feeling like it might be a little underwhelming at first. Like it feels like a lifeline, but it doesn't feel like this huge grandiose thing where it's just gonna, you have to kind of look at it for what it is, but also for the potential of what it can be. So however that comes in for you, but pay attention to whatever this is, and don't overlook it too quickly, right? Again, it may feel small at first, but there's a lot of potential for what this can move into, what this can sort of, again, organically transform into for you. And it feels very material. Yeah. So anyway, powerful energies this month, 11s. I do, like I said, I kind of see some extremes here for you. I see some things that there's going to be a lot of you sort of standing in your power, using your voice, using your discernment, making decisions, being decisive, not getting sort of overwhelmed or sort of taken under by the current of emotions this month, but really kind of rising above that and honoring those feelings and those emotions that come up, but seeing them for, seeing the experiences for what they are and where they're trying to take you, where they're trying to lead you. So if you can kind of stand back and be the observer in the situation, it's going to give you a much better vantage point to be able to use that discernment. So really beautiful energy for you all. A lot of potential for this year and a great start to 2021. Again, it's how you harness that energy, but yeah, really powerful, really beautiful. Love to see this for 11s. So, all right, this was, of course, a general reading. If you're interested in a personalized reading, please book some time with me. I offer a variety of options and would love to work with you. So until we meet again, take care for now, 11s. I will see you next time.